Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news. All right, folks, buckle up because the Seahawks are once again stirring the pot in the NFL offseason with a move that has fans buzzing and analysts eager to see how this could reshape the NFC West. Reports are swirling that Seattle is in serious talks to acquire Jessie Bates III from the Atlanta Falcons. Now, this isn't just a rumor. Insiders and sources close to the team suggest that a deal could be imminent, involving a third-round pick and some depth at safety. If this goes down, it could be one of the most impactful moves of the offseason, not just for the Seahawks, but for the entire league. Let's break down what this potential trade could mean for Seattle. Bates, at 28 years old, has been one of the top safeties in the league when it comes to coverage and playmaking. He's been a leader on the Falcons' defense, and his stats tell you why. This season alone, Bates has racked up 8 interceptions, which is an incredible number in today's pass-heavy NFL. That's more than most safeties, and it puts him in elite company. Not only that, but he has 18 passes defensed, showing his ability to break up passes and disrupt offensive rhythm. His PFF coverage grade is a staggering 93, which ranks among the top safeties in the league. That's no small feat. And when you look at his ability to stay close to receivers downfield, Bates allows just 0.6 yards of separation on deep passes. That's lockdown territory, folks. Now, if you're a Seahawks fan, you know how much a player like Bates could elevate the secondary. Seattle's been building a formidable defensive backfield, especially with the rise of Devin Witherspoon, who boasts a PFF grade of 91, and is already looking like a future shutdown corner. Adding Bates to the safety tandem would be like icing on the cake, turning the Seahawks' backfield into a nightmare for opposing offenses. Think about it. Bates, combined with Julian Love, who has 5 INTs in 2025 and a PFF grade of 89.7, could create a secondary that's not just good but dominant. They could transform the Seahawks' defense into a true force, reminiscent of the legendary Legion of Boom of the 2010s. This move also makes strategic sense. The Seahawks are sitting on about $24 million in cap space, which gives them some flexibility to absorb Bates's contract. Atlanta, on the other hand, is rebuilding, sitting at 5'8" and still figuring out their identity with players like Penix, who's been impressive with an 82.4 QBR. The Falcons are capping out at around $19 million in cap space, but they're also focusing on freeing up $17 million to bolster their front seven. Their defense has been allowing around 30 points per game, a number that Seattle's offense, led by Geno Smith, could definitely exploit. So what's the impact here? Well, if the trade goes through, it's a game changer. Seattle's secondary would instantly jump into the elite tier. We're talking about a unit that could rack up close to 24 interceptions this year, up from 15, pushing turnover rates up by around 18%. That's a significant boost, similar to what the Bengals experienced last season after acquiring Bates, who added about 190 yards prevented and made a tangible difference in their defensive efficiency. The Seahawks' passer rating allowed could plummet from around 85.6 to just over 70, which is a massive improvement, especially against some of the league's top quarterbacks. And let's not forget the potential impact in the red zone. Bates has shown he's a nightmare for tight ends and elite receivers, especially against quality TEs like George Kittle. His ability to disrupt routes and make game-changing plays could turn the Seahawks into one of the most feared red zone defenses in the league. With Devin Witherspoon and Bates patrolling the deep and intermediate zones, Seattle's defense could look like the 2010s Legion of Boom reborn, creating a culture of fear for any offense that steps onto their turf. The Seahawks are already riding high with a 10-3 record, sitting comfortably near the top of the NFC West. But if they add Bates, that ceiling elevates even further. This could be the move that pushes them from a good team into a true Super Bowl contender. Their odds of winning it all are already improving, from plus 500 to as low as plus 275, according to some betting markets. That's a huge shift and reflects the confidence that adding a player like Bates brings to the team. His presence would also serve as a blueprint for how Seattle can build an elite defense that can challenge even the best offenses in the league. Now, of course, there are some questions and caveats. Atlanta's stance on the cap and their rebuild timeline could influence how motivated they are to trade Bates, especially if the price isn't right. But with Seattle's cap flexibility and their current defensive needs, it seems like a match made in heaven. Bates' ability to be a playmaker, combined with the Seahawks' current roster and defensive scheme, could unlock a new level of dominance. It's one of those moves that could define a season and help them finally leap over the top and contend for a Super Bowl once again. Looking ahead, the Seahawks have been steadily building a roster that mixes veteran leadership with young talent. They've got Geno Smith leading the offense with accuracy and poise, and their running game remains solid, but it's their defense that's been the real story this season. Adding Bates would cement their status as a top-tier team and could even serve as a rallying point for the entire franchise. Fans are already dreaming of the playoffs, and this move would make that dream even brighter. It's also worth noting that the Seahawks have a history of making bold moves that pay off. Remember the trade for Quandre Diggs in 2019? That was a pivotal moment that significantly boosted the secondary, leading to a massive increase in interceptions, 11 more than the previous year. Bates could have a similar impact, turning Seattle's defense into a turnover-generating machine. Plus, the chemistry with Devin Witherspoon and Julian Love could be off the charts, creating a secondary that's versatile, aggressive, and hard to beat. As the season approaches its final stretch, every game counts and every addition matters. The Seahawks seem poised to make a statement, and acquiring Bates could be the move that seals their spot as serious contenders. It's a bold gamble, but one that could pay off in spades, elevating Seattle from a playoff team to a legitimate Super Bowl favorite. With the NFC West getting more competitive, especially with teams like San Francisco and Los Angeles always lurking, Seattle needs to keep their edge. Adding a player like Bates is a clear sign that they're serious about competing at the highest level. In conclusion, this potential trade isn't just about acquiring a talented safety. It's about changing the narrative of the Seahawks, defense, and their overall championship pursuit. Bates' playmaking ability, his ability to disrupt passes and make game-changing plays, combined with the Seahawks' current roster, could forge a defensive unit that's feared across the league. The Seahawks are on the cusp of something special, and if this deal goes through, it could be the piece that puts them over the top. Fans should stay tuned because this could be the move that defines their season and perhaps their legacy. The NFC West is watching, and the Seahawks are making a statement. They're ready to take the next step and chase that elusive Lombardi trophy once again. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you believe Bates can be the game changer the Seahawks need? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion means so much to us and to the Seahawks. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Seattle Seahawks news. Let's keep this passion alive and continue supporting our team as they chase greatness. Go Hawks!